Hey guys, it's Bro You Whack, and there's salt, sadness, and depression in the air, which means that there's a new competitive season! It's finally here! Welcome to Season 30, everybody! Get ready, boys and girls, because we're gonna be playing our placements, getting disappointed by our ranks, and getting frustrated at our teammates because they refuse to play the meta, but deep down inside, we know that we're the problem. We know that we're dog water and that we suck, but we will not admit defeat, and that's why I'm making today's video, which is talking about the best heroes to use in Season 30. Now, luckily, because we've had 30 total competitive seasons, and because there hasn't really been a new hero added in Overwatch, I truly do feel like there isn't one standout hero that is OP like how in GOATS it was Brigitte, or in Double Shield it was Sigma and Orisa. I truly do feel like if you have a main, you can do good, but that doesn't mean that there are some heroes that you might want to try to look towards or even avoid for this up-and-coming season, and that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. I'll be listing 2 DPS heroes, 1 tank, 1 support hero, and for the first time, I did want to talk about one hero that a lot of people might suggest to you to play in Season 30, but I would actually try to avoid altogether. And even suggesting to avoid this hero altogether might cause a lot of people to have an uproar and call me mean names that will eventually hurt my feelings and make me cry, and I'm just trying to help you guys. But the hero that I'm talking about that you might want to try to avoid in this up-and-coming season is McCree. And no, it has nothing to do with his name change, but rather his nerfs that he received earlier in this season, in Season 29. In case you guys don't know, all hit scan heroes receive a massive nerf when it came to distances when they're doing damage. And McCree definitely suffered the most from this hit scan nerf, along with just individual nerfs to himself, where his gun now reloads a lot slower and the combat roll distance now got reduced by 20 meters. So it's safe to say that he's not the same cowboy that we remember a couple of months ago. While he still can be good in the right hands of someone who's an aim god, and if you utilize the flashbang correctly, then yeah, he can still have a place in the meta. So unless you're winning a bunch of games with McCree, or you're a McCree main who just refuses to learn somebody else, you might want to try to avoid this cowboy, because even just looking at basic statistics, he has the second lowest win rate in all of the hero roster, but he's the most picked DPS hero out of all the DPS heroes. So I just thought I would bring it to light, because you might be wondering why you might not be winning games, and maybe it's because you're playing a hero that just isn't as good as he once was beforehand. But afraid not, my Western lovers, because we're gonna find a replacement for your favorite cowboy for this up-and-coming season. If you're not wanting to leave the DPS role, but you're wanting to play someone who's very similar to McCree, then look no further to our favorite gay soldier, Soldier 76. While Soldier 76 received that same hit scan nerf that McCree and all the other hit scans received earlier this season, later on in the season, he did receive individual buffs, making him a lot more favorable not only in the meta, but also compared to McCree, his other hit scan comparison. Receiving 1 extra damage per bullet, along with 15 extra heals per second from his biotic field. But that's not to say Soldier 76 is leagues better than McCree, making him a useless hero, because I would say in certain situations, one is more favorable than the other. Like, let's say if you were trying to pick somebody to counter the Pharah on the enemy team, which is a popular situation, it would probably be more favorable to pick Soldier 76, because while he does output a lot less damage, it's more consistent, and he just has a little bit more survivability because of the biotic field. But if you're trying to counter a Tracer, or you're trying to counter a Doomfist, or you're trying to counter a Hammond, or somebody with the stun ability, which Soldier does not have, then it would be more favorable to pick McCree. But if it was just based on the beginning of the game and you're trying to pick between a hit scan hero, Soldier 76 is probably the way to go, because he's a lot more safer of a pick. Again, unless you're a McCree main and you put hours and hours and hours into him already, then you probably want to try to learn Soldier this up-and-coming season. But because McCree is starting to lose a lot more games statistically and fall out of the meta's favor, and because Soldier's starting to climb the ranks slowly but surely, there is one other hero that's kind of taking over Overwatch that you might not even consider, but I would say Doomfist is also going to be another great pick in Season 30. Doomfist is a very, very interesting hero, because I truly do feel like he is one of the highest skill capped heroes in Overwatch. Nobody can just pick Doomfist and automatically do good with him, because he takes the biggest game knowledge of rollout spots on every single map. You have to know where to dive on specific maps where every single health pack is, where you're able to Doomfist punch to get momentum past certain ledges and walls. Like, he's not just a run-of-the-mill hero that anybody can play. That's what makes him so special, and that's also what makes him so annoying, is that when you actually do learn to master Doomfist, you can counter anybody, even a McCree, because nobody can stop you. Even if they do have a Roadhog hook or a flash flashbang or a Brigittish bash shield or all three, you can still get out of a sticky situation because of how Doomfist is built. He has so many abilities that allow him to be a very mobile hero to get out of any kind of situation that might put him in danger, but on top of that, his passive ability. It's really his passive ability that is even able to hang in a game that have some obvious counters on the field, like the Roadhog, Brigitte, and McCree that I mentioned beforehand. Even if you dive onto a McCree, you Seismic Slam, uppercut him, even if he does flashbang you and you're not able to finish the kill, you should be able to leave with at least 50 to 100 health back to safety to your team and do that all over again until you get a kill, until you're lucky enough for that McCree to use his flashbang on somebody else and you're able to secure an easy kill on a squishy. And because McCree is getting nerfed, you're gonna just naturally start to see less and less McCrees, which means you're naturally gonna start to see more and more Doomfist because nobody's playing McCree right out the gate, causing you to have a lot more momentum to play as Doomfist, getting ultimates. Plus, he just got a buff to his ultimate. Whenever you use his Meteor Strike, it resets all of his cooldowns, allowing him to be a lot more slippery, along with you getting possibly 400 health. Like, just think about that. A Doomfist with 400.
Oh my goodness!
So scary. Like, I hate it. I really hate how Doomfist is so just agile and slippery, but he's good, man. That's why I hate him. It's because he's so good. But he's very difficult to learn, so if you want to learn him, you have a lot of work ahead of you. Like, I know CarQ did a video looking at one rollout spot on every map for Doomfist, so go check that video out because I'm sure it'll be very helpful on your adventure of learning this very broken hero. But what does that mean for tank? Now, every single time I do one of these videos, I always try to make it tailored to the solo queue players. And, you know, the obvious tank combo is Zarya and Reinhardt. That's like peanut butter and jelly for Overwatch. You can never go wrong with that. But if you're like me, don't have friends or anybody that loves you or a team that is willing to play a sensible comp, then D.va is also a decent pick for this up-and-coming meta. Now, just a reminder of how basic Overwatch strategy works. If your team doesn't have a shield, you should probably pick Reinhardt or Winston or just somebody to protect your team. But if you already have a Reinhardt and if you're a D.va main, well, that's not the worst strategy because, like I mentioned before, Soldier 76 is going to be an up-and-coming popular pick. McCree, he's still somewhat relevant, even though he really shouldn't be. And also with this rising Doomfist stock, which I really do feel like he's going to be a major problem in this up-and-coming season. She's a great peel tank to help protect your squishies because of her defense matrix, but also just because she can bully the Doomfist away from your back line. There's really two major jobs a D.va has. Either peel and protect your teammates, or dive and bully the enemy hit scans, or really anybody that nobody else can really get to on your team because you do have your mobile mech that can fly anywhere. So if there's a Widow sniping you, that's your job as D.va. If there's a soldier in the back line, you should probably go and dive them. If there's an Ana all by yourself, go and bully that Ana. Like, there's a lot of jobs that D.va can do that a Reinhardt and Zarya can't do. It's just all based on what heroes are picked on the enemy team. And finally, for the best support hero to play in Season 30, this goes out to all my girls, gays, and theys out there. It is, in fact, Mercy. You have to remember that Soldier, McCree is going to be popular picks, and the Blue Beam Mercy is one of the best secondary abilities that you could ever have. But on top of that, Mercy is a pretty solid healer. She's not better than, I would say, Baptiste, but Baptiste is even getting a lot of nerfs that's kind of making him obsolete compared to Mercy and especially Ana. But I do feel like Mercy in this day and age, she has a solid place in the meta that really anybody can play Mercy. That's not to say she's a hard hero to master, no, because you gotta learn the super jump with Mercy, you gotta know the right times when to res, who to blue beam, and who will get the most value out of it. Like, there's a lot that only Mercy mains really know how to utilize because of the hours spent playing Mercy. I know she gets a bad rep for saying that she's an easy hero to play, and admittedly, like, yeah, there are easy aspects. I mean, you just press left click to heal somebody, and you're doing your job as a healer. But Mercy could provide a lot more for a team that a veteran Mercy player, i.e. a mom that needs therapy, will only know how to give. So that's why I think Mercy has a lot of in-depth strategy that not a lot of people give her credit for. And she's also hard because if your team is really bad, it can be difficult to play Mercy, but also if the enemy team is just really good, because guess who they're gonna be focusing on the enemy team, i.e. your team, you as Mercy, because you are so fragile and innocent, and it's just wanting to keep this poor poorly put together team somewhat intact. But anyway, guys, those are the heroes that I think are going to be really good in Season 30. But just as a reminder, and especially now that we've gotten to 30 seasons, you can play any hero in Overwatch, and if you're good, you will do good. Like, I feel like we're getting to that 0 point to where you can play any hero that you want, and it'll work out. Whether it's Symmetra, or Tracer, or Ana, or Torbjorn, if you know the strengths of that hero, well, that's because you're good with that hero, and you deserve to win. And if you're bad at Overwatch, or bad with those heroes, you deserve to lose. Don't just expect to play any of these heroes and automatically win. Overwatch rewards the people that studies these heroes, learns how Overwatch works, and utilizes the strengths to the hero's best abilities. And that's what I try to do with these videos, is suggest to you new heroes that you might not have otherwise thought to play if it wasn't for watching this video. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.